Jayson Tatum's 2024-25 season didn't just end, it collapsed. In the closing moments of Game 4 against the New York Knicks, with everything on the line, the Celtics franchise cornerstone crumpled to the floor. Diagnosis: a torn right Achilles. And just like that, Boston's title hopes were shredded with the same brutal snap. This wasn't just any injury. This was a full-blown catastrophe. Tatum wasn't having a good season. He was having the season. 26.8 points, 8.7 rebounds, 6 assists per game, career highs across the board. He was orchestrating the offense, cleaning the glass, defending, and rewriting franchise history. He posted stat lines unseen in Celtics lore since the days of Larry Bird, and in some cases, never before. Triple doubles with 40 points, 5 threes, double-digit assists. He was doing it all. This wasn't just a player on a hot streak. This was a generational talent taking the leap toward immortality. And now, silence. A ruptured Achilles isn't a rolled ankle. It's one of the most devastating injuries in sports. It changes players, sometimes forever. The typical timeline is 9 to 12 months, but with an injury like this, nothing is guaranteed. No explosiveness, no rhythm, no certainty. The Celtics' 2025-26 campaign may have to begin, and possibly end, without their MVP. And even if he returns in early 2026, what version of Tatum will come back? Meanwhile, Boston fans clung to hope online. The team announced Tatum as their 2024-25 team MVP, a bittersweet crown for a season that ended in agony. Fans flooded X with heartbreak and praise. How is this real? Champion. Best in the league when healthy. Not even close. One fan even declared him the 2026-27 MVP in advance. And maybe he will be. But that version of Tatum lives in the future. A future shadowed by surgery, rehab, and the unknown. While Shai Gilgeous-Alexander walked away with the league MVP. Tatum, who finished 4th in the voting, walks into the offseason with crutches and questions. And now, the Celtics already facing salary cap hell, ownership, uncertainty, and a possible roster shakeup must face their worst nightmare. A future without Jayson Tatum at full strength. Boston didn't just lose a playoff series, they may have lost the player their dynasty was built on. The Boston Celtics are standing at the edge of a cliff, and the 2025 NBA draft might be the only rope left after a playoff collapse that no one in Boston will forget anytime soon. The front office is under immense pressure to shake things up, and we're not talking about minor tweaks. The kind of pressure that comes when your championship window starts to creak. The kind that turns calculated executives into desperate gamblers. This offseason isn't just about redemption, it's about survival. With the new punitive second tax apron hanging over them like a guillotine, Boston has to make tough decisions. They're not just battling rivals on the court, they're battling the league's financial system off it. And when every dollar over the line costs you 3 more, suddenly drafting well becomes a matter of life or death for your franchise. Structure. And here's the reality. The Celtics can't afford to miss. They hold the 28th and 32nd picks, nothing flashy, but enough to get creative. According to recent reports, Boston is already deep in trade talks, working the phones harder than most. They're exploring aggressive moves to either trade up or reposition themselves, particularly for a guard. Why? Because the Jrue Holiday situation is no longer a rumor, it's a warning sign. His name keeps surfacing in trade chatter, and not by accident. He's aging, expensive, and due for extension talks Boston might no longer want to entertain. The Celtics know that depending on his longevity is gambling with time they don't have. Yes, Derek White has emerged as a cornerstone. Pritchard can fill gaps. But let's be honest, Boston's guard rotation behind them is paper thin. If Holiday is gone and an injury hits, the Celtics could go from contender to chaos in a matter of weeks. That's why they're hunting. Sources say Boston has been unusually quiet in their draft evaluations, not because they're indifferent, but because they're hiding their true targets. They've reportedly zeroed in on multiple top-tier point guards in this class, and make no mistake, they're ready to pounce. The goal: find a guard who can not only contribute on a rookie deal, but develop fast enough to be playoff relevant by 2026. Because this isn't just about building for the future anymore, this is about buying time for a team that's dangerously close to peaking and falling in the same breath. Boston's front office doesn't just need to be smart, they need to be ruthless, because the next few weeks will define whether the Celtics remain a dynasty in progress or a warning tale of a team that flew too close to the cap. The Celtics just made a coaching move that could quietly redefine their future in a franchise where headlines are dominated by superstars and All-NBA contracts. One of the most important decisions of the Celtics offseason is happening off the court and flying completely under the radar. According to Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype, Tyler Lashbrook is reportedly on his way back to the Boston Celtics. But this isn't just another assistant coach shuffling in the background. No, this could be a pivotal turning point in Boston's long-term player development strategy, and one that may influence the very foundation of their post-Tatum era. A name casual fans may barely recognize is quietly becoming one of the most intriguing coaching minds in the organization. After a wildly successful season as head coach of the Maine Celtics, where he led a staggering 14-2 run that earned him G League Coach of the Month honors in February, Lashbrook has shown he's not just a clipboard holder, he's a culture architect. His return to Boston, reportedly in a new and expanded role, isn't just a feel-good promotion. It's a strategic move by a franchise that knows the value of grooming internal talent, not just on the court, but on the bench. This comes at a time when the Celtics, reeling from the devastating Achilles injury to Jayson Tatum and the looming threat of a luxury tax implosion, must extract maximum value from every layer of their organization. Coaching is no exception. Behind the scenes, Lashbrook is credited with a rare coaching trait, the ability to connect deeply with fringe players and overlook talent, the so-called stay-ready guys, that make or break depth in a league where injuries and back-to-backs are ruthless. Head coach Joe Mazzulla described Lashbrook as a technician and motivator. His ability to teach has been really great. He built great relationships with those guys last year. And essentially, the G League, that's the stay-ready environment and mentality. But Lashbrook's success isn't just about tactics, it's about obsession, it's about urgency. DJ Rodman, yes, Dennis Rodman's son, described him in terms usually reserved for championship-starved stars. If he could play, he would. Sometimes it feels like he wants to win more than we do, and that's who I want to play for. That hunger is rare, and exactly what Boston needs as they prepare for a potentially turbulent chapter ahead, with Phil Pressey expected to step into Lashbrook's old role in Maine. The Celtics are doubling down on a system that doesn't just talk development, it lives it. Pressey and Lashbrook will now be tasked with maintaining the chemistry, discipline, and competitive edge that separates Boston's approach from other teams, still trying to figure out how to make their G League affiliate matter. And make no mistake, Maine matters. The Celtics G League team isn't just a testing ground, it's a proving ground. It's where J.D. Davison learned how to run an offense, where raw wings sharpen into two-way contributors, where the ethos of the Boston Celtics gets forged. From the bottom up, this isn't just about staff reshuffling, it's a warning shot to the rest of the league. While other contenders are scrambling for aging veterans and overpriced depth, Boston is building from within and betting big on voices like Lashbrook to keep the machine alive. In a summer filled with noise about superstars, trades, and tax bills, this move may be one of the quietest and smartest statements the Celtics have made, because in a league obsessed with the now, Boston is thinking 5 steps ahead.